The Chiefs made their move, went up and got Trent McDuffie and got nearly the perfect fit for their defense. I'm going to tell you and show you why today on RGR Football. Welcome back, friends and neighbors. I'm Ryan Tracy, the founder of Rogue Analytics, as well as this channel, RGR Football. This is Ryan Going Rogue, where I kind of steer wherever I please. In terms of Chiefs topics, this is RGR Football. You've seen a bunch of our crew. If you are new to us, make sure you like this video, that you sub to the channel, and you click the bell so you get notifications about what comes next, because there's always something coming next, and we're working on a lot of things for you. Want to go over a quick video today for Trent McDuffie because there's a lot of things overshadowing the fact that the Chiefs went and got their guy, the third cornerback selected in this draft. And there's reasons why. People have some concerns, and it's because we didn't do enough, honestly, to explain what he brings to the table when we were in the pre-draft process. Quite frankly, I didn't think he was going to be available. So I'm pretty excited. I'm going to show you a little bit more here. Just to get an idea of who he is, what his stature is, and that kind of thing. He's not super huge, but he's definitely not on the small side. This is Fahika from Stanford that he stood with. And even though Shorter came away on a positive side of that, like in terms of size variability, you can get a good idea from that. But I think at the end of the day, he's viewed as kind of a smaller guy that maybe doesn't win in man, but that's actually not true at all. And so I do want to get to the point where I can show you some of the things that he does do well. And that starts with the stats. And everyone's going to say, hey, this is a stat-based analysis. They're right. It is. But it becomes very important when you get the stats to the point that you can really make sense of them. And this is coverage scheme. What I want to talk about him in particular is the scheme that he was used at Washington, because he's a very natural cover corner in zone. That's perfectly fine. But what you don't see all the time is, although he played coverage snaps of right about 300, he only played 60 man snaps. And that was just this last season in 2021. But here's the key. Unlike Kyler Gordon, who has a great reception percentage allowed all over the place, Trent McDuffie allowed 41% completion rate. That's rock bottom. That's incredible. For a grand total of yards per reception of 3. That's great. That's in man coverage. He just wasn't asked to do it a lot. And that's why we see, even though when we go over to the zone aspect of it, he's got a similarly outrageous grade of 79.3. Now, grades are obviously what you're going to take from them. We've talked about PFF grades a lot. But again, here's the zone look. And there he allowed 47%. Now, for Gordon, the guy that was the number 2 that went later in the draft, that is a big disparagement between the two completion percentages, which is the number one metric that I look at for corners is how often do you allow passes to be completed? Because that's your job, to stop passes. That's why you're there. And McDuffie came in at 47.4 in zone, where he has to click and actually come downhill and disrupt passes. So again, he gave up a little bit more yardage, 8.8 yards per reception on that one, but only 9 receptions, 47%. That's incredible. You don't get that every day. And this is better than any Chiefs corner performed last year in the league. So they're not the same thing, but they give you the aspect, and they give you the ability to look at it and say, okay, if he was that good, under 60 quarterback rating in college, he should be able to come along and make some of those things that are the bigger plays that you want. How does he do that? Well, that takes a little bit of everything as well. And when we look at his profile, this is from the Athletic Matrix draft guide. If you guys didn't get that, it is still available, but I'll run through the basics here for you. And let me get myself off the screen so you can see the whole thing. These are the athleticism here on the left-hand side. Now that's the MAM is the master athletic matrix, the overall grade. So he's 10th in the class at that. It doesn't seem that great, right? But explosively, that's where he comes from. His explosion is his best grade. His explosive range is his second best grade, and his deep range is his third best grade. That tells you that he's able to move off the ball. He's able to plant his foot specifically in zone, come downhill, and break up passes. That's what you want. Now, the other thing that you really want to see is how well does he affect the ball? And that's really where he starts to shine. 44% completion rate on his career. That's incredible. That was number 3 overall in this class. Now, he went number 3. That makes a whole lot of sense, and I like that quite a bit. He also had the number 3 missed tackle percentage. You can see that down here. Now, these are ranks, so these are not the raw numbers or the percentages. These are the ranks within the draft class. But he came in at 3.6% missed tackles. That's incredible. That really shows you that he's able to be on an island. He's obviously here able to play in man and play in zone, and he can do a little bit of everything. Alignment-wise, he played a bit in the slot. His senior, particularly, he was outside quite a bit, but we do see that he can come inside. And when you take a look, he had our number 4 film rank. That goes a very long way. And the hawk rate and eagle rate, those are career stats. They break down how much do you affect the ball in terms of takeaways, PBUs, forced fumbles, fumbles recovered, tackles for loss. And the hawk rate is more out in the field in the coverage, whereas the eagle rate covers everything from the back of the defense all the way towards blitzing, TFLs, sacks that you might get. If you are a blitz type DB, it gives you a better overall feel. He's not necessarily a blitz kind of DB, but you can see that at a 13 hawk rate in a guy that wasn't targeted very often at all. I think it was 30 targets for last season, giving up less than 40%. While you didn't take the ball away and you didn't get the PBUs racked up, you did enough to dissuade everybody from throwing at you. And that's honestly what you want to have, because in Kansas City, what you're going to have is 2 players that can do a little bit of all of it, and that goes a very long way. Again, when we take a look back at coverage scheme, it comes down to 19 targets in zone and 12 targets in man. That's low. That's nice and low. And the conundrum for the rest of the NFL is going to be this. You have L'Jarius on one side, and you're going to have McDuffie out there running around as well. Now, he might be playing some nickel. He might be playing the other outside, and that's okay. It doesn't matter where he plays, because he's going to dissuade quarterbacks from throwing at him, and that's what you want. Same thing with Snead. Now, they'll still try him. He'll still have opportunities. I think he will have more opportunities to take the ball away, to get PBUs, to do that kind of thing in the pros than he did in college, because it was very simple to just say, no, we're not going to do that. Now, with a top 10 athlete, top 3 in critical categories like the pass completion rate, the missed tackle rate, playing in space, that all goes to say that this is a guy that can do everything that the Chiefs want to do. And he's, I think, from the reaction that we got from the first minicamp, that he's ready to do that. He's ready to focus on it. He's got his life and his career kind of spaced out already, with having a good crew around him to take care of the things that he doesn't need to take care of, and concentrating on getting in the playbook, learning what to do. He's an instinctual player already, so that helps. And I think his transition is going to be quite good. I'm really excited for what he's going to bring to the table. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a hole in his game at all, or that there's some kind of hiccup waiting to happen. That's not how I feel at all. Looking at everything that was in our film eval and everything that I watched pre-draft, this is maybe the best fit. Now, Sauce and Stingley, very good corners. They could really fit in anywhere. It just depends on the usage pattern. But for the Chiefs that want to play all the way from, I think they want to play a little bit more zone. And I think they rely on playing man. And they actually had the highest percentage of zero coverage in the league, in that you had no safety help. It was all man all the time. Being able to make that transition, I think Stingley could have done that. I don't like Sauce in zone as much. So really, for the Chiefs, this is the perfect fit. This was the guy at the top of the list in terms of being able to do everything that you want to do and get it done succinctly and execute. That's what this is about. Trent McDuffie is going to be, I think, a very, very good player, and the fit in Kansas City is nearly perfect. So that's where I'm sitting here from an early look at him in Kansas City. What do you think? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you like and sub and hit that bell. If you want to support the channel, super chats are always nice. We appreciate that. Grab some gear in the store. It's always there. And if you want more about the draft and team building and other things outside of Kansas City, go sub over to our new Substack at NFL33.com. It will take you to the Substack and you can get subbed there. I do a couple of things that are behind the paywall. We do have some free posts as well, so you can get a little bit of everything there. But consider subscribing at the pay level so you can see what I really think as I really break things down that aren't necessarily Chiefs players, but will be Chiefs opponents. That's going to be the key for this one. So I hope you enjoyed this little look at Trent McDuffie. I'm pretty excited about him. So thanks for watching this one.